It is a common misconception to confuse terminologies such as economic growth and economic development. By using examples and definitions, we hope to uncover the true definitions of these words. To start, economic growth is the percentage change in GDP over time of valued goods. It is often associated with economic wealth and varies between countries worldwide. The problematic comes when this is associated not only with wealth, but with social development and equality. This is wrong, since there are countries where money is not a problem, yet there are social and equality problems and vice versa.
The UN sought to solve this by implementing a new way of measuring development in a country through the 90s, the HDI. This separated what was known as economic growth into two different parts: economic growth as a measure of wealth, and economic development as a measure of welfare, quality of life, education, healthcare, etc., whilst also taking quantitative improvement variables. Some examples for this need for a difference between economic growth and development can be varied. For example, USA and Cuba. This opens up the discussion, as it is clear that whilst Cuba has a very big difference in income per capita to that compared to the USA, it still holds a very high HDI, 0.775, in comparison to its counterpart, which has a surprisingly high amount of inequality, but still having an astonishing $50,170 as its GNI per capita.
The next example puts into question two apparent opposite countries, Montenegro and the Equatorial Guinea. Now, Montenegro has a relatively low GNI per capita, but it's still one of the countries with the highest HDI in the entire world, coming in at 0.807. On the other hand, the Equatorial Guinea has a surprisingly GNI per capita of 21,517, but having a very low HDI at 0.552. The last example, Ukraine and Botswana. Though Ukraine has almost a GNI per capita of 7,361, it has a very high HDI of 0.773. However, it is not very high when compared to that of Botswana's, which is 0.698, along them having a GNI per capita of surprisingly 14,663.
It is important to reflect upon those last figures. They tell us that not necessarily having a high monetary income assures a country a population living a good quality life. Though they can be related, economic growth and development must not be used to describe each other's variables. HDI was created as a new way of seeing society in a way that money doesn't interfere or give an illusion of what the country's population is like. To sum up, countries with a high GDP can have a low quality of life and vice versa. We consider economic behavior whilst looking at the economic growth and their welfare, societal development in looking towards the economic development.